Hey, good morning, everybody. Um, this is to all my Nightwishers and any of my other subs or viewers that come to my channel. Please forgive me if I get a little emotional in what I'm talking to you about, but it's personal to me. Um, I have a very special, she's a subscriber, but she also is a moderator on my channel, and I'll tell you how that came about. Um, when I started reacting to Nightwish, um, there was a very special lady who came in, and you have to understand, Nightwish is kind of a complicated band, and they come with a lot of backstory to them and a, a lot of songs that you have to be very particular about. And she came in and gave me all the information. Her name is Anne. I believe it's Wyckoff, but I could be totally mispronouncing her last name. I don't think I've ever said her last name. We've always been on a first name basis. Um, and probably, I don't know, into my second Nightwish video, um, she had started, she was the only one out of the Nightwish crew actually that started going into my other videos and was actually checking out my other videos and what I was doing, and was reacting to my other videos, which I thought was really cool that she was actually making that crossover. And I had made a comment about it, and she said, well, I do like other types of music. And the funny thing was is that we had very similar personalities and we got along quite well, which was fantastic. And one day, I guess she must have seen that I didn't look well at all, and um, she had said, well, this or that. And I said, well, I'm sorry, it's bed rest for me for the rest of the day. And she had made a comment that, yeah, I noticed you don't look well and I don't want to pry, but are you okay? Now, those of you who have been with me for a while know exactly what my health issues are, but the Nightwish crew, they're new. Well, they're not so new now, but at the time they were new to the channel and they didn't know what was going on with me. And so I explained to her that I have cancer. I was diagnosed in 2013 and I fought it for 2 years, about 2.5 years, through several rounds of chemo, 4 operations, countless treatments of radiation, and I beat it. I was cancer free. And then about a year ago, I was re-diagnosed, but this time in the form of a brain tumor, which is inoperable. And I can't, and chemo is not an option. Um, I am getting some treatment, but it's basically just um, a prolonging type of thing. Um, but I do get sick, and um, I actually ended up in the hospital for about a week. And when I came back, her and I talked, and she shared her story that she was a cancer survivor and stuff like that. I don't think she'll mind me saying that because I think the people who are closest to her, or the Nightwishers, that's what I call you guys, the Nightwishers, all know that she is. And so her and I became even closer because her and I could talk about that. Now, at that point in time, she said, we're on this journey together, no matter what. And there came a point where I had to change my schedule. I said, we're no longer, because at that time I was just doing requests only, because when I was in the hospital, requests just got built up so big that I couldn't stick to my schedule anymore. And I had to get, caught up. And then I said, okay, we're caught up enough. I have to get back to the schedule. It's only fair to everybody because I have so many diverse groups of people, and everybody has to get their stuff heard. And at that point in time, I asked her if she would mind being a moderator for my channel because, it had started to grow and I needed to have someone else kind of looking out after everything. And she said, "Of course, I told you, we are now in this journey together." And that touched me. I mean, it really touched me. And she was always looking out for me as well. Are you getting enough rest? Are you taking care of yourself? You look tired. But she never told me what was going on with her. And about a week ago, I had my last conversation with Anne. We were talking, I was doing some I did a Van Halen video. And she said that her two favorite things from Van Halen, and she reacted to it, but she said her two favorite things from Van Halen was I had mentioned I wanted to do, in the video I said, before this song was Eddie Van Halen's solo Eruption, but I didn't want to go into that because some people probably wouldn't like a 10-minute guitar solo. And she had written in the comments, I would have loved it. So I did Eruption. I didn't get as big a like as I thought, but that's beside the point. But she said, but my all-time favorite Van Halen song that I would love for you to do for me is Jump. That's the last conversation I had with Anne. That was a week ago. And then I didn't hear from her. And I hear from her every day. So I was starting to get worried. And after about 2 days, I'm not even going to attempt to say your name because I'm going to screw it up. But it's JUHIS 1981. Popped into my comments on a Nightwish reaction and said, if anyone's wondering about where Anne is, she's in the hospital. But, she's in quite a bit of pain, but we think she's going to be okay. Now, I would love to ask questions like what's going on and everything, but in my mind, because I'm a very private person, only Anne has the right to tell her own story or give permission for others to tell their story. So I have no right to ask him what's going on. I can only ask Anne, and I didn't have the means to do that. So I was like, okay, if you talk to her again, send her my love, everything. Then Sunday, right? Pia Lindquist, right? 2019 popped back in the comments and said, I spoke to Anne yesterday. She's still in the hospital, but she is expected to come home. She's going to be okay. Some of the pain has subsided, blah, blah, blah. But still, her and the original person that I spoke to, and Adam Blackstone and a couple other people in the comments who are my regular Nightwishers. I have quite a few of them who are always reacting to commenting on my reactions, came up with the idea of getting all the reactors together, because there's a couple of us that do Nightwish pretty regularly, and setting up a GoFundMe page for Anne to cover her medical expenses. Because, as you know, here in the U.S., unless you are, like me, a veteran who's 100% disabled, and so I have my medical covered through the VA, or you're so damn broke that you can't, or you're like over 65 and you can't Medicaid, and that still doesn't cover your medical expenses. I'm going to tell my best friend 2 years ago, her husband had to have a quadruple bypass, which is surgery, and in the same year, she had to be hospitalized for surgery. They lost their home and they lost almost everything they had. They had to claim bankruptcy, all because of medical bills. And they both work full time. You can have everything, and because of medical bills in this country, you can lose everything. It's ridiculous that we don't have universal health care in this country, that we don't have socialized health care in this country. At any rate, this woman reached out to me. She knows I have no family. She knows that I'm here alone in this fight, battling a horrible disease, and because she's been there. She didn't have to offer her friendship to me. She didn't have to offer anything to me. She was a stranger. She could have just said, oh, it's just another woman with an opinion about a band I like on YouTube. But no. She reached out to me with love and empathy and said, we're on this journey together. And she meant it. And so, I am asking everyone to please do what you can to help Anne get through this. I will put the GoFundMe link down in the description. I don't care if you're a Nightwisher, if you're a home free person, if you're an upchurch person, if you're a hip-hop person, if you're a metal person, stay and watch this video because this was requested by Anne. It was the last thing she requested of me before she went in the hospital. And this is the video that we're doing. Van Halen, Jump. Let's get it for Anne.
I get up
So that was for you, Anne. Um, you'll get to see this when you come out of the hospital, and I hope that's soon. I miss you. I miss you in my comments. I miss talking to you, and I really want you to get well soon. Um, and remember, just remember, everyone, this is just a way to help her get past her medical bills. Um, if any of you have ever had any type of issues medically, then you know how here in the US, how horrible medical bills are and how they can destroy you. So again, the GoFundMe link will be down in the description. I want this for everybody who views me, not just the Nightwishers, everyone. Please do this for Anne. I know she would do it for you. I know it. And that's really all I have to say. You guys have a really good day. And yeah, take care of each other. Because no one else is going to. Ciao, guys.